In August 1981, Betty White stepped onto Johnny Carson's stage in a leaf bikini. She was 59 years old, and she was carrying something no one could see.
Tarzan smoked no vine before its time.
Tarzan, you are the most insensitive man I have ever met.
Of course Tarzan insensitive. Tarzan raised by apes. What do you expect, Rod McEwen?
This was not two strangers in a sketch. Betty had known Johnny Carson for nearly 30 years.
Is there somebody else?
Somebody else? You gotta be kidding. Believe me, there's nobody else. Nobody.
Do you love me?
Of course I love you.
How do you define love?
Love's like an apple.
How much do you love me?
About half an apple's worth.
By 1990, she had walked back through that curtain more than 40 times. Their friendship had outlasted his marriages, her hardest year, and almost the Carson era.
Doug the Sensei was catching,
Right.
and I shook off the first couple of signs. And I wound up and I
Give me a
threw.
break. You didn't-
I only was 10 feet short of the plate, but that's a 50-foot throw.
That's a long throw from
That's
the pitcher's
pretty,
mound.
yes, but I didn't make it stick because they lost the game.
What happened between these two was not just chemistry. It was the kind of friendship television almost never gets to keep. Betty White was never just another guest to Johnny Carson. To understand why, you have to go back to before either of them was famous. Before the desk, before the curtain, they were both young performers in Los Angeles television. Johnny had Carson's cellar. Betty had Life with Elizabeth. She was 4 years older, and she remembered him before the legend. Just a kid, still growing into himself. Then, in November of 1961, they sat down 2 seats apart on a CBS panel show called To Tell the Truth.
Only one of these young ladies is the real Martha Maxwell. The other 2 are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Betty White, Johnny Carson, and Kitty Carlisle on To Tell the Truth.
2 seats apart, 11 months before Johnny Carson would take over The Tonight Show. The comic instinct was already there.
Thank you, Bud. I never thought I'd see 3 girls come down in bathing suits and look overdressed, but they were kind of a relief to see that when they came down.
The woman who would become Sue Ann Nivens and Rose Nyland was already there in 1961, fully formed, quick on the line. 4 months later, Johnny returned to the same show as a panelist.
Attention. I give it a try. Number 2. How do you learn to give shots? How do you practice?
You learn that in your first 6 months at nurse's training.
What do you practice on?
People.
That was 1962. 2 promising young performers crossing paths in early television. In October 1962, Johnny Carson walked through a curtain in New York. He was about to become one of the most watched men in America. Years later, when Betty stayed away, Johnny did not send a booker. He called her himself. Betty had been closely associated with Jack Parr, the man Johnny had replaced, so at first she stayed away. Then Johnny invited her to dinner. Once she came in, he learned what made her different. Betty could make a risky line feel harmless. She could be naughty without ever seeming cheap. By October of 1978, the writers were giving Johnny material that only worked because Betty was beside him.
Faces as I came in. Who is that fellow in the pink bikini briefs?
Oh, that's our switch hitter.
What happened next on national television had never been done with anyone else.
Does head and shoulders really control your dance?
Oh, yeah, all the guys use it. You want to scrub it back a little, will you?
You want to get the shoulders?
No, I'm not going to get no. Well, as I see, I hope you come again sometime. We have another game tomorrow. Thank you very much.
That was not just a risque joke. Johnny could push the scene because Betty knew how to save it. 4 months later, they did the kind of sketch Johnny would only do with her.
I'll tell you where I've been, Eve. I'm trying to find something interesting to eat. I tell you, I'm sick of apples. Apple strudel, we've had apple pie, applesauce, nothing but apples. What a drag.
I notice you don't mind the apple cider once you let it get hard.
Now, let me put it this way. I have to drink.
And like so many Carson and Betty moments, it ended with one clean line the audience could take home.
Oh, good. He'll know what to do. Look, she wants half of everything I have.
Wrong. She gets everything. Let there be alimony.
What?
For nearly 20 years, Johnny kept calling, Betty kept showing up, and together they made some of the most memorable moments late-night television ever produced. If you remember nights like these, subscribe. We tell stories like this every week. Then, in late 1980, something happened in Betty White's life that the headlines would soon report. What America saw was a performer still smiling. What no one could see was how Betty was carrying it. To understand what Betty carried into Johnny's studio in August of 1981, you have to go back 20 years, to another television set. The show was Password. The host was Allen Ludden. His first wife was dying of cancer, and he had 3 children. Before he became Betty White's great love story, Allen Ludden was a father walking through loss. Betty and Allen worked together on Password. Then, in 1962, they did summer stock together in Critics' Choice. That was when Allen fell in love. He proposed. Betty said no, and kept saying no for a year. For the rest of her life, she would call those months one of her great regrets. On June 14, 1963, they married in Las Vegas. Their marriage changed her life, and for a while, it kept her world closer to Allen than to late night. Then, in early 1980, Allen was diagnosed with stomach cancer. He went into chemotherapy. Bill Cullen took over Password Plus while Allen tried to recover. Betty kept working. America kept seeing the same bright, quick Betty White on game shows, on sitcoms, on Johnny's couch. They did not know what was happening at home. In February of 1981, the new house Betty and Allen had been building in Carmel was finally finished. Allen got to see it. He slept there 2 nights. He never returned. Betty kept that house for the next 40 years. She never sold it. On June 9, 1981, Allen Ludden died in Los Angeles. He was 63 years old, 5 days short of what would have been their 18th wedding anniversary. More than 250 mourners came to the service. Television friends, game show colleagues, Mary Tyler Moore, Burt Reynolds, Carl Reiner. Johnny Carson was not part of the public story. If he reached out to Betty privately in those weeks, the public did not see it. And according to his longtime lawyer and confidant, Henry Bushkin, Carson was never comfortable with grief. Sentiment was not his easiest language. Not yet. 9 weeks later, on August 14, 1981, Betty walked back through Johnny Carson's curtain. And Johnny did not introduce her as a widow. He introduced her like this.
I want to bring Betty out here because she's such a fine actress, and as you know, she was for years on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. She's currently starring in a 4-hour NBC miniseries called The Best Place to Be, which will be on the air on both Monday and Tuesday night at the movies, September 7th and 8th. Would you welcome Miss Betty White?
That was the warm introduction, but the audience still did not know what Betty had been carrying. Betty did not return to Johnny Carson's stage for a condolence interview. She returned in a sketch, not as Allen Ludden's widow, not as a woman asking America for sympathy, but as Jane, standing across from Johnny's Tarzan, ready to make people laugh.
Are you late again?
Not Tarzan's fault. Vine controller strike. Tarzan almost had mid-air collision with orangutan. Man, it's a jungle out there.
Johnny was not asking Betty to explain her pain. He was giving her room to play.
Which doctor helped Tarzan grow this? It called the Say This Some plant.
Say this some plant?
Say, this some bad weed. Tarzan smoked no vine before its time.
And the trust ran both ways. Betty knew how far she could push him. Johnny knew she would never let the scene fall apart.
Then how come when you take a shower under the waterfall, the hyenas all stand around and laugh at you?
Hyenas always laugh.
Yes, but they don't usually point.
Don't talk about Tarzan's body. Him seen better jugs on top of native's head.
When the sketch ended, Johnny reached for something older than the joke.
Say funny things.
Thank you. You not shrimp vine.
Well, now, come on.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, I love working with you. Sketches. I remember a show you used to do when I was out here in California, because we've known each other a number of years, called Life with Elizabeth, with the late Del Moore that you did.
Oh, that was such fun. That was winging it about like this.
Life with Elizabeth. A small mention, but not a small memory. That was local Los Angeles television in the early 1950s, 28 years before this night. Most of the audience heard casual banter. Betty heard something else. Johnny remembered who she had been before any of it. And then Betty said the name no one else on that couch had said that night.
Told me this, so many kind people have been sending in things for the koala fund because, in memory of Allen, because they knew that he was a big zoo friend and he's such a plant man, that they're going to name the whole plaza outside the new one, the Allen Ludden Plaza. And I was
very nice.
just so sorry about that.
Glad to hear it. He would be happy with that, too.
Oh, he'd be so glad.
He would be happy with that. One sentence from an old friend, quietly acknowledging the husband she had just lost. The sketch was the disguise. The friendship was what kept Betty from disappearing. Johnny Carson did not save Betty White with sentiment. He gave her comedy, dignity, and continuity. After 1981, Johnny did not treat Betty White like someone fragile. He kept treating her like Betty. He teased her, and she teased him back. Every time she returned, the audience saw what grief had not taken away. By February of 1986, Betty had been widowed for nearly 5 years. She had not remarried. Johnny was between marriages himself. In another pair of hands, that could have turned into gossip. Betty turned it into comedy.
That's right. But you never hit on me.
What?
Once you hit on me.
Did I hit on you?
You hit on me once.
I'd always thought about hitting on you.
Yeah, but you...
As long as we got it out in the open now, I mean, let's get it out.
Yeah, you hit on me, but you didn't really mean it. It was kind of between Jones or Joanne's or Joan,
Yes.
one of those, and I don't remember which one.
That exchange did not turn romantic. The friendship they had was worth more than that, and the next moment proved it.
But I did not expect this lovely, competent interviewer, and
No,
she
they
was
weren't
just wonderful.
ugly things. They were just amusing jests.
The kind of things you used to say about Allen and me.
Now, I did do some jokes about you and Allen Ludden. That's true.
We loved it.
Did you really?
Oh, we loved it. We were giving a wife-swapping party and nobody would come.
5 years had passed. Allen was still part of their conversation. A year and a half later, in October of 1987, Betty returned with a book to promote. Johnny opened with a callback only the two of them could truly own.
For the first time in many years tonight, we don't have to do a Tarzan sketch. We don't. Usually when we do sketches, we are undraped.
I can keep my clothes
Keep
on?
your clothes on. Tonight you come here as an author, so this has to be most dignified.
A little dignified.
Most
Okay,
dignified.
well, I don't blame you. I
That's
think
right.
it's the only way to do it.
The pant leg was Tarzan in 1987, 9 years older, and the trust had not changed. 5 minutes later, Johnny landed one of the most quoted lines of their entire friendship.
These
If you
little.
hadn't gotten in such a rush to get married, we could have arranged something.
Well, I mean, you're so.
Now he's a girl.
You're somewhere between Mother Teresa and a call girl. Somewhere. And I'm not quite sure where it is.
Only Johnny could say it. Only Betty could make it sound like a compliment. In September of 1990, Betty came back with something she did not quite know how to accept.
You don't feel comfortable saying that, do you?
Well, it's...
You kind of want the Midland Woman of the Year?
Well, I mean, it really is kind of dumb, but on Michigan...
No, it's not dumb. You've had a... Yeah, don't worry about next year. You've had a marvelous career.
37 years on, he was still doing the same thing, letting her be funny without letting her shrink. And Betty as always, brought the moment home.
And around the hotel on Michigan Avenue, they had big signs that said Museum of Broadcasting, salute to Betty White. My mother and father came from Chicago. They would have been so thrilled to see that. That was really something.
By 1990, much of Betty's old world was gone. Her parents, Allen, friends, and colleagues she had outlived. But Johnny still remembered the whole story. The young woman from Los Angeles television, the fearless sketch partner, the woman who never stopped loving Allen Ludden. And he kept giving her the one thing television could not replace, the chance to walk out, land the laugh, be herself. When grief could have made Betty White disappear, Johnny Carson kept giving her the stage. She walked back through that curtain again and again, still funny, still fearless, still Betty White.